Hello, my fellow seekers. Welcome to Into the Work, therapy for empaths, seekers, and the intuitively driven, where you have front row seats to therapy sessions and expert interviews that will help you define the important work that you're here to do. So I guess you actually have something better than front row seats. You practically have a seat on my couch. That's right, you will have unrestricted access to actual sessions with real people, exploring real life issues. You will continue to be inspired by powerful conversations with experts and healers that might just share exactly what it is that you need to hear to get unstuck. I am Michelle Pauverman. I am a recovering people pleaser and former anxiety-driven empath, turned now mostly grounded psychotherapist and intuitive coach. I have been helping people for almost 20 years manage their limiting beliefs and anxiety to finally stop the self-sabotage and step into their gifts. I created this podcast, Into the Work, to give you a place to learn more about yourself and give you actionable strategies to finally move those roadblocks holding you back so you can go for what you want. Above all else, my hope is that this podcast is a catalyst for your awakening. If you're listening, you've already taken a step towards getting off of autopilot, and our next steps together will be taken episode by episode, waking you up to the possibilities, the new ways of thinking and being, so that you can stretch into that next level of your story. The spark has already been lit, and my friend, this is a journey from spark to brilliance. So together, let's light a fire. Hello again, and welcome back to the show. Today is part 2 of a 3-part series to raise your vibration and get you back to your magic. Today is going to be by working with energy. By the end of this episode, you will have some clear action items to make sure you are tapping into your gifts to raise your vibration and being more intentional about working with energy. Additionally, you're going to have a greater understanding of your gift as an empath and a spiritual seeker, and a new lens with which to view your energy system. Actually, this is an important foundation that I really want you to have that will help you change how you're feeling now to how you want to feel moving ahead, right? So, elephant in the room, this was going to be a 2-part series, but I couldn't do it justice trying to squeeze it all into today's episode. And I like to make sure I do things justice, right? I want to make sure that I am giving you at least all that you need that I can deliver in a short time span of a podcast. So next week, during part 3 of Raising Your Vibration, I will be focusing on the last 2 pieces that I'm going to deliver here. And that is identifying 2 types of boundaries that will help multiply your joy and embracing magical thinking, which of course is the best kind of thinking, right? And all of that is going to help just seal in all that we've talked about in all 3 parts of this series. And I think that it's going to really help you to start moving forward and just holding your energy different, working with your energy different, doing things to help light you up and be more expansive. So here we go. Before I jump into how you can work with your energy more often, I really want to make sure that we're on the same page on what it means for you to be an empath, so you understand what is happening when you're doing all this energy work and why it's important. We have talked a lot about you being an empath on this podcast. However, I want to make sure you have the same basic understanding about your gifts as we move forward, okay? So to begin with, what differentiates you from other people is your sensitivity to energy. Energy from other people, animals, nature, and literally everything else that exists on this planet, because everything is energy. And you have a gift. You have a gift of sensing and feeling energy differently than the average person. That is why clairsentience is known as the empath's gift, right? Because every empath has clairsentience. I gave a quick rundown of the clairs in part 1, but just in case you're one of those rebels that likes to listen to part 2, before part 1, I'm just going to let you know you should go back and listen to part 1 when you're done with this. So your clairs are how you receive psychic information, and clairsentience refers to clear sensing and feeling. So it's a psychic ability that allows you to receive intuitive messages through feelings and sensations and emotional experiences. Some examples are sensing and feeling what other people in the room are feeling in that moment. This gift can expand to past and future as well, but you're definitely sensing and feeling emotions from other people. You have an ability to detect dishonesty, and it comes from clairsentience as well as that claircognizant, what is the knowing psychic energy. But clairsentience also allows you to sense and feel sort of even the emotional state of someone who's being dishonest. Sensing when your idea or someone else's idea or something that's being presented to you feels wrong, but may not have the exact concrete why, is also can be clairsentient. It's like how you're tapping into what you're feeling around something in the moment. Feeling energy or sensations in buildings and places is also clairsentience. You may feel a really good vibe when you walk into a place, or you might feel really brought down. And the last one I'll mention here today is sensing the feelings of spirits, as well as feeling physical sensations when they're trying to communicate with you. Some people will experience pins and needles, or some people will experience different things in their body. And sometimes we just experience the emotions that are being brought or shown to us to spirits that visit. Now, the purpose of your unique energy field is that you are a healer by nature. Okay, so other people's energy systems respond positively to yours, right? So without knowing it, without working at it, you actually do help raise other people's vibrations, which is why empaths can attract people in their lives that drain them, AKA energy vampires, if you've ever heard of them, which is just people in your lives. It's not a very nice word, but it's people in your lives that are just, or people that you come across that might be very needy. You might feel like they drain you. They take and take and take. They're very stuck and they're very caught up in their own negative energy spirals. And so they just feel needy and energetically to you. So, but in general, right? So that's why we attract that. But in general, by nature, you're a healer. And inside you, whether you choose to be one, whether you choose to go out and do that thing, you are. And we do that unconsciously. I actually have a funny story that I'll share with you. And that was right after the pandemic, I went and got a healing. And now when the pandemic finally broke and I got back to work, and I was one of the very early people to go in person. So I got back early and I started doing a ton of healing. I mean, everybody needed healing post-pandemic, right? Or in the midst of it. So I was doing a ton of healing. So I thought, it's time for me. I need to go get my own healing done, right? And during the healing with a healer that I know well and have worked with before, and when she finished with the healing, she told me, oh my gosh, Michelle, I didn't know what was happening, but the beginning of our healing was really hard for her because this wave of energy kept coming over her and she just got really discombobulated, right? She was like, what is happening to me? And then she realized when she checked in that my energy system kept trying to heal her when she was trying to heal me. And she actually had to talk it down. She had to say no. She had to put up a boundary and let my higher self, my, inner healer, she had to put the boundary up for me not to be healing her during that time. And then it wasn't time for me to be healing and it was time for me to receive. And I actually stopped, I listened, and then she could continue the healing. But it really just threw her a bit. And it was nothing that I was doing on purpose, right? I was just checked out, like really enjoying the vibe, right? But I'd been doing so much healing that I didn't even realize that I was like reaching out and trying to heal people that I wasn't even, paying attention to doing. So we do that. And so you might be doing that too. I realize even if you're not a healer and you're listening, you just might not recognize that as a healer, because you're an empath, that's who you are, your energy system is working that way. That's one of the gifts, is how you receive energy, how you give energy, what you do with energy. And so I just want to bring that to your attention, that you have that ability and it's important that you work with it. So now that you understand this, that you're this healer by nature and your energy system is a crucial part of your purpose here, you can also imagine that therefore working with energy within you and around you is also part of your gift, but also your responsibility. Now, on one hand, it is a gift to be able to work with energy and manifest beautiful things in your life. And on the other hand, it is a great responsibility that you have to yourself and to others to manage your energy, because it is so easy for you to get depleted and try to energetically push through and end up with health issues, getting sick. So now when we talk about energy, I also want to introduce another concept to you, and that is of constriction and expansion. So bear with me here, because this is actually going to be really helpful for you to start looking at things this way, okay? So your thoughts, your behaviors, your emotions, they all impact your energy system because they are all part of some layer of your energy system, of your energy field. So when you have constricted your energy, it feels tight, heavy, and limiting. It often arises when empaths absorb negative energy and resist their natural flow, right? So maybe we go somewhere that just sucks our vibe. You've been with the energy vampire. You are somehow resisting your own flow. And we'll get into that now of what that can look like. But you have these symptoms and these signs of when that's happening, okay? And you might be ignoring them. In fact, I'm going to bet that you have been ignoring them. And if you're feeling down at all, you've been ignoring them. So first of all, we're just going to show you when we look at constricted energy fields, right? And constriction in the energy. Physical symptoms: tightness in the chest, throat, stomach, feeling physically fatigued, sluggish, shallow breathing, holding your breath. I can't tell you how many people shallow breathe when they come in to see me or when I work with them doing energy healing, even online. Like, that shallow breathing piece mimics anxiety in the body. And so there's so many reasons for that. But from a constricted energy standpoint, you're looking at anything that wants to, sort of constrict. So you can even look at muscles in the neck and jaw, muscles in the body, anywhere, really. You're looking at that tightness. And now emotional signs, we have overwhelm, anxiety, sense of doom, self-doubt. Even second-guessing your decisions frequently is a sign of a constricted energy field. Okay, it's a red flag. A persistent need for approval and that external validation is also constricting your energy field, right? It works both ways. It constricts your energy field, and it's because you're constricting it, because your energy field is constricted. So mental patterns can be obsessive thinking, overanalyzing, feeling stuck in what ifs or fear of failure, right? Ruminating on past mistakes or worrying about the future. Anything where you are fixating is constriction, okay? Anything where you're over that, like overanalyzing, overthinking. You can see it in your behaviors, right? When you have a constricted energy field and when you contribute to a constricted energy field is when you're saying yes to things you don't want to do out of guilt or obligation. And that feeling afterwards, right? That terrible feeling that you have is so constricting of your energy field. Avoiding challenges and opportunities or authentic self-expression. Whenever you are holding back or holding in, that is when you are in constriction. Feeling the need to control the outcomes of other people's reactions, or when you have that tighter grasp in life, like you're trying to grasp everything and control it, that's constricted energy. That's why when you are manifesting and you're tightening your grasp on the outcome, and it has to be like this way, and I have to have this thing, that's constriction, and it will never work. Right? And the last piece for the constriction, I just want to say, it's just like you can look around at your life, right? Your life experiences. You're looking at feeling kind of trapped in relationships. You might feel trapped in a job or stuck, or situations that no longer serve you are just lingering and you don't know what to do with them. Repeatedly attracting toxic or draining relationships, or just relationships that don't serve you, right? They bring you down. But that obviously constricts your energy field. And any type of, when you're experiencing stagnation in your personal or professional growth at all, that is constriction. Now, We have to realize as empaths that if you feel this constriction, you have to take a look at your life, the choices you're making, the emotions you feel, thoughts you have that contribute to the depletion. Those are all important pieces, right? That's where the work is. That's where you can identify, oh, right? And you can choose not to do anything about it, but you're still going to feel the constriction, right? You're still going to be stuck. You're still going to feel that lack of magic, right? That lower vibration. So, signs of holding the energy of expansion. So, expansion feels light, it feels spacious, it feels empowering. It comes when empaths align with their intuition and they feel like they're just embracing being in the flow. Like, I'm open to whatever happens, and whatever happens is just perfect. The whole purpose of this series is to raise your vibration, but also get you into expansion. That's my goal here. Is that by feeding you this information and by stimulating your energy system, by listening to this podcast, I am helping to kind of build up your state of expansion. So now, how do we know we're in an expansive state? We've got physical symptoms like the same but different, right? So relaxed shoulders, open chest, steady breathing. When I see somebody with a collapsed heart chakra, that is a constricted state. When you see a collapsed heart chakra, you'll see a hunch in the back, the chest is a little hollow, and the posture isn't right. It really shows up in the body. An energized, vibrant feeling in the body when you have an expansive energy field going on and you're in an expansive state and your energy is flowing in an expansive way, you're feeling vibrant and people can tell. A sensation of lightness or flow as if everything is just clicking, right? That's how it feels. Everything is just clicking right now. Everything is just falling into place. It feels amazing. Emotional signs, feelings, you're just noticing more joy. Like, wow, I feel like I'm just out for a drive, like going to do my usual thing, but wow, I feel magical. I just feel like, what a beautiful moment. This is so cool, just driving, right? Excitement, inspiration, all those things are more available. They happen more often. Confidence in decisions, even if there's uncertainty, I can trust, right? There's more availability of trusting that this is enough, this is good enough, and it's just going to lead me to where I need to go. A sense of gratitude is another part of that emotional sign, that no matter the circumstances, I'm able to pull up gratitude. When we're constricted, that's difficult, right? So the mental parts, the patterns, can be clarity of thought, creative ideas flowing, a focus on possibilities instead of limitations, trusting in the timing and the unfolding of events, and behavioral patterns. So we notice in the behavior, you're setting boundaries and it's just happening easily. Like, wow, I feel really good about that. That felt really good to say. And without guilt getting in the way, you just stand in your power with ease. And you can feel compassionate and loving towards somebody while you set the boundary. It feels good. It feels right. Pursuing your passions, taking inspired action, those are big, expansive moves. I always say to people, if you're feeling stuck, like harness enough energy to take one inspired action and watch your energy field release. You will just feel like a relief run through the body or through your field, depending on where you're at, how sensitive you are to your field. But speaking your truth and honoring your needs are other things you'll just be able to do with ease in a different way. I mean, it's not always easy. We're human, but in order to speak your truth and honor your needs, you'll have the energy system that supports that. It feels expansive. It feels safe. You can trust. Life experiences, that last piece, when we look around at our life, you're going to see attracting supportive and uplifting relationships and opportunities. Now, sometimes when we're moving from constriction to expansion, there is a transitional time. And you might find that right now, that when you are listening to this, you start really shifting things in your life and you're starting to really open up and expand your system. It may take a minute for some of those uplifting relationships and opportunities to start showing themselves, but your job is to trust that they will. Your job is to just open up and to know that they will. And experiencing synchronicities and a sense of alignment comes with that. And so you're looking for that. You're like, oh, hey, that person was meant to come in my life. Hey, I feel totally aligned with this thing that I just read. That was amazing. You're just looking for the synchronicities and you're experiencing them fully. Now, personal and spiritual growth also feels like natural and exciting. Like you're so much more interested in the spiritual stuff. It's like whatever you focus on gets more. You've been here. You know this. And I want to say to you, it's okay that you are not living in this place. You're human. And as I always say in my episodes, you are human and you don't get to check out on that. You don't get to skip that part. You are here to have it all, experience it all. You are going to be moving from constricted to expansion. It's when we move from the state of constriction, and we move from that state and we start to open ourselves back up, that we do the work that's really beautiful. So it's actually important. It serves your soul to have been in both states. So the goal is for you to become more aware of what your energy is doing. Are you constricting or are you expanding, right? Is your energy feeling constricted or is it feeling expansive? So just take a moment with that and just notice, how would you answer that question? Where are you at with all that? And it's going to be the lens in which we look at all the actions you're going to take moving forward and how you can evaluate yourself is through, am I constricting? Is this thought constricting or is this thought expanding? Is this, behavior I'm going to do, this choice I'm going to make, does it constrict? Is it constricting, this choice? Or is this choice I'm going to make expansive? Now let's look at how we can start to work with energy more in your life. Now, over time, learning to work with your gift can be life-changing. Okay, I'm telling you that the things that I'm sharing with you here today have been life-changing for me, or I wouldn't share them. They may be things that you have heard elsewhere, a few of them for sure, and that's fine because that means that other people have caught on to how important these things are, and so we need to keep hearing them. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is that as a sensitive human that is here to manage energy, to sense it, to feel it, and again, feeling the emotions of other people is energy, right? Emotions are energy. So that is part of the gift as well. Practicing energy clearing and protection is a no-brainer. And doing it daily is really important. It's how it makes a huge difference. You can do it once and be like, oh, and I've had many clients come back and be like, oh my gosh, I did that visualization you gave me and it was amazing. I did it myself. I didn't even have to listen to it anymore. I've just done it myself and it's so great. But then, they did it twice and they didn't continue to do it and they find themselves back into that constricted state. And so it's really important that you recognize that it can be done in 2 minutes. It is something that does not have to take a lot of time. It's more about it just being a habit. Okay, it's just a habit. So using visualizations, such as imagining golden light washing over you to remove energy that you've absorbed from other people, that's a real common one. But when you visualize something, you are directing your energy to expand and mobilize based on what you visualize. You are teaching it, you're organizing it, and you are orchestrating the healing that's happening in your body. In terms of your brain, it responds to both real and imagined, okay? And it sends messages all over your body based on the visual that you give it. But your brain, honestly, is one small part of a very elaborate energy system. In fact, your heart sends more messages to your body and your energy field than your brain does. That's how powerful your heart is. So there is so much going on in your whole energetic body when you visualize. It's a no-brainer, you guys, for you to do this every day. You get so good at it because you do it often that you're like, 1, 2, 3. Like you just do it and you do it quick and you're done with it. And it can be like 4 minutes and you're like, wow, I feel like a different human than I did 5 minutes ago. So when you practice a daily clearing, you can clear others' emotions. You can clear your own low vibration emotions yourself, your beliefs. You can set that intention that you're literally clearing the beliefs or getting in the way of you taking on this project that you want to do or whatever. You can work on releasing viruses, pathogens, any outside energies that are toxic to your well-being. It was a massive part of healing my Lyme was really just having a daily habit multiple times a day of clearing my energy. Now you are the master. You are it. You get to be creative. Using deep breathing in conjunction with visualization is very powerful too. And honestly, you probably won't find me doing any type of daily clearing practice that doesn't involve breathing. I'm always using my breath to push energy around my body. I'm always using breath to expand my energy body because that is part of the magic sauce for me. And I think it is for you too. And just a little tidbit here to start to explore manifesting visualizations, because I really do think empaths will benefit from practicing this because your energy system finds it so healing. You are built to expand. When your vibration energy gets you out of constriction and into expansion, this is the state which you manifest things in your life. Simply practicing visualization and then embodying the feeling of what you want to manifest, aligning your energy with your desires and your beliefs, right? Just like you know this thing's going to happen. It's so exciting. You feel how good it feels. You keep bringing that forward, that visualization, the embodiment of how it feels to have it, and aligning your energy and beliefs with your desires. And your gold, it's so powerful because you are meant to manipulate energy. You're meant to create with it. You're meant to change matter with it. You're meant to change things with it. And so, yeah, manifesting is sort of a no-brainer too, right? So if you would like to work a little bit more on your mindset for manifesting, I have a great episode on that. It's number 21, How to Develop a Magical Perspective, Mindset Work for Manifesting Empaths. So go check that out as well. You might find just what you're looking for there to inspire you. So number 2 is I want to talk to you about grounding. Okay, grounding techniques are things that you're going to do to feel more grounded. Honestly, just to really simplify this, the most grounding thing that you can do is get into your body. The more in your body you are, the more clear you are as an empath, and the more you have access to your intuitive gifts. The more up in your head you are, the more anxious you are, the more likely you are to be blocking access to intuitive information because your energy field is constricting. I'll also drop, if you find this helpful, episode number 19, The Empath's Intuitive Awakening, Tips to Clear the Path to Your Intuition, goes into detail about some really cool tools that you can do to up-level your intuition and tap back into it. And grounding and being in your body is part of that. So definitely go listen to that after this. And you can also use nature as your grounding tool, right? Walking barefoot on earth, standing by a tree. I absolutely love just aligning my spine up to a tree. It just feels like my whole field just goes poof, just expands and feels healed. It's amazing. Spending time in natural settings to just release that extra energy, that excess energy, and recharge. And when you do grounding stuff, so again, you're moving energy into the body. So one tip that I often give is just breathing, doing really deep breath work where you're breathing really deeply into the body. And you're imagining that you're calling in or calling back all little parts of you that have been released or dispersed when you've been in a constricted state, right? So when you're in an anxious, constricted state, let's say, or depressed or whatever, parts of your energy field can get a little funky. And so often I'll have people sort of imagine and visualize that you're calling back all the little particles of you, all that belongs to you, all the parts of your energy that might have gotten dispersed in the chaos of the emotions and, taking on too many other people's energy. And so I ask people to just take a moment to take deep breaths and breathe all those parts back in. And imagine that they're like little puzzle pieces and that they know exactly where to go. They have a home, they have a slot that they just slide right into. And then when you're done breathing and you breathed all your energy back into the body, then you can feel whole. And now you can expand once again and get back into that state of expansion. The last thing I want to add to grounding techniques and energy clearing and protection is just adding that last energetic boundary. So whenever you're doing anything like this, even if it's like a 4 or 5 minute gig for you where you're like, I'm going in that room and I'm just going to quickly clear my field, or I'm going in that elevator, or I'm going to the bathroom, wherever you're doing it in the shower. And then at the end, if you have an extra minute or two, just imagine visualizing a protective shield. I always tell people if you can end on that, it's a really good muscle to practice to build up your energetic boundaries, to prevent taking on external energy. And so if you can just imagine, a glass shield or just something where that you're outside of your energy field, gets sealed up and it sort of has this protective shield around it. You're not going to be able to hold that all day. And in a couple hours, you realize you don't even remember you have one. And that's fine. But the more you do it, actually, the more hearty it kind of helps out and supports your field. Okay. So the number 3 thing that I want to mention is creating sacred space. I know you're like, yeah, heard that before, but guess what? Still really important. It really is. Now, energy cleansing spaces impact your field pretty quickly. So when you use smudging, sound bowls, or essential oils to maintain high vibrational environments, like if you're home or at work or wherever you create that space, when you walk in that room, you likely are going to sigh. You're likely going to feel a shift. If you pay attention, you'll probably notice you feel better in that room than outside it. So if you've done your job good, right? If you've really cleared the space, because empaths need a space to heal, you need a space that doesn't tap into your energy field. So likely that space doesn't have anybody else in it. If clutter drains you, you're going to create a space that does not have clutter in it. You're going to meditate and set intentions to do clearing and grounding work. That's going to be your place when you're home or at work or wherever you are that maybe you go there to just quickly replenish your system, right? You might have in this space, you can create an altar. You can incorporate other energy helpers, such as crystals, to support your energy system. See last week's episode on part 1 for suggestions. But according to Hamilton and Why Woo Woo Works, the book that I've been referring to in part 1, but now in part 2, he shares how crystals also support you in amplifying your attention and focus. He says that research shows that the more frequently we focus on a goal, the more likely we are to achieve it. He's brought up this idea that once you associate your crystal with an intended goal, he suggests placing those crystals where you can see them multiple times a day. So certainly in this room, if you place an intention and hold that crystal and associate that crystal with your goal, with your intention, and then place those crystals around the room in places where you'll see often enough, it's keeping you attached to your goal. And that crystal is going to hold the charge of your goal, and it's going to support your energy system as you try to do whatever it is that your energy system needs to do to help you attain this goal. So as you can see, there's so many ways for you to create a space that feels good. I do have a room in my home that even my kids come in and they say, why does this room feel so good? I'm like, exactly. And even my teenage boys say that because it literally has a different vibration in it. The rest of the house can be a mess, but this room always has this beautiful energy because I support that. I invest in it. I make sure it has what it needs. It stays clear and clean and it stays high vibe. So, number 4, as we move on, healing work. I want to talk to you about healing work. There are many different healing modalities, but I'm going to focus on Reiki and hands-on healing today because it's the most sort of known and established and popular. So Reiki or other hands-on energy healing is a biofield energy therapy. So it's working with the biofield. In other words, it's working with your energy field, working with your energy. And what's so beautiful about Reiki is that it is used to facilitate a person's own healing response. So when I or someone else does Reiki, then we are not actually doing the healing. We're actually orchestrating the healing. We're being conduits to supply the energy, raise the vibration in your body, and then your body, right, receives that energy and knows exactly what to do with it. And that's what we trust. We know that it knows what to do with it. And it actually activates your body's own ability to heal. We all have such incredible healing abilities. And when we work with energy on ourselves and on others, we direct energy to activate this natural ability to heal ourselves. So as such, when you learn Reiki, you become the conduit or the vessel to orchestrate the healing response. And practicing this helps empaths fine-tune and deepen their own innate skills of tuning into energy and working with it. In Why Woo Woo Works, Hamilton also incites a number of really cool studies. So if you're ever interested in learning more, but he does talk about some really cool studies around Reiki and so much about what we're talking about in terms of us being conduits and all that. But the validity of Reiki really gets supported, and I always appreciate that. In fact, there was a meta-analysis done for 4 studies into the use of Reiki for reducing pain. And it concluded that it was statistically significant in the reduction of pain. Not sure if you know what a meta-analysis is. Most people don't. But I learned in my own studies that it's a very rigorous research. Okay, it's very rigorous. And this research is done on actual research studies concluded in the past. So it's sort of like the mother research that comes in and does research on research that's been done to see how accurate, how clean it was, and all the good stuff. But it's really the gold star that it can be because it's so challenging to get high marks. So to have a statistically significant reduction in pain in a meta-analysis is actually huge. The British Medical Journal Supportive and Palliative Care reviewed also concluded that Reiki therapy is significantly useful in relieving pain, decreasing anxiety and depression, and improving quality of life in several conditions. So we know how powerful it can be to aid in others' healings. And as empaths, it's an incredible way for you to restore your own healing process and energy system. But in case you have been attuned, in case you've ever done it, when you do get attuned, you have a lifetime access to this energy. If you have stepped away and you haven't done it in a long time, it's still there. You've changed your energy field in order to hold it, and it's still accessible to you. It just takes a little practice to reconnect, and then you will start to feel the results. You just have to be patient. Even if you don't have access to receive or learn an energy healing modality, you can just take the time every day to do your own healing work. Again, everything I've told you thus far is really, really powerful. Using visualization, repeating mantras of healing happening in your body on any level of your energy body, emotional, physical, mental, spiritual. You can practice using your hands to sense and feel energy on yourself during these healing meditations. You can focus on literally healing anything. So I just want to encourage you to do more of that in your life, to just play around with energy, practice it, being the healer that you are already. You just need to get the muscles built. You just need to get yourself in a more expansive state to be able to really see results. The last one that I'm going to talk about today is number 5, and it's the importance of cultivating awareness of your energy patterns. This is where you really start working on your self-awareness. Now, that means I'm asking you to tune into your energy shift. Okay, so for example, I want you to reflect on how you feel after spending time in different environments. I want you to reflect on how you feel. What are the sensations in your body? What's the sensations in your energy or emotions when you are around certain environments or certain people? We really want you to start tuning in and paying attention. The next piece of this is really important, And it's really important work that we all have to do, and that is recognizing your triggers. Okay? You need to learn what drains or uplifts your energy and adjust it accordingly. If you're like most people, I'm telling you, you are likely ignoring a lot of your triggers and warning signs, and you're just pushing through. You're fixated on the have-tos and shoulds. This continues to constrict your energy field, which in turn produces more fixations and trapped feelings and negative thoughts about have-tos and shoulds. Our energy is a mirror with our environment. So the more we put out, the more we focus on something, the more we create that thing and receive it in return. So your job is to pay attention and tune into your energy shifts and your triggers and your warning signs and do the work to open back up to an expanded state, which is to create more expansive thoughts, feelings, and experiences. It's really important that you start recognizing and taking responsibility for your triggers. Sometimes we can get caught up and feeling like we get into blame, like I feel this way because this person did this thing, or, my kids or my husband, my partner, that maybe somebody else is causing this. And it's really important for us to really recognize our own triggers so that you can tune in and begin the healing process to get back into expansion. And that's where everything heals. So you have to recognize when you're overwhelmed, what's causing the overwhelm, and that is your responsibility to heal the overwhelm, right? You got to go to your special room. You got to do your work. You got to clear and protect. You got to ground. You have to start to focus your energy and do energy work. You need to start visualizing and get yourself back into a state of expansion. I know I'm making this sound so simple, and I know it's not, but it also is, right? So it's like hard work that's simple to say, but you can do it. I know you can. And so now I hope you have a renewed inspiration to step into your power as an empath and really re-engage with your healing process of becoming more expansive in all that you do. You have such a beautiful gift, and if you're feeling lackluster, it's time to put these steps into action. So thank you for listening today. I hope that this was helpful. As always, if you could leave a review, rate the show. I love the feedback. It helps me know that this is helpful, that this is working, and that I'm on the right track. So I hope you have a beautiful week. I will look forward to tapping in next week when we talk about identifying 2 types of boundaries that's going to help you multiply your joy, and then embracing magical thinking, the best kind, right? So look forward to that. See you next week, and bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Into the Work Therapy for Empaths and Seekers. Don't forget to grab your free gift, your Shadow Work Transformation Bundle at michellepoverman.com. I've included everything you need to get started to break through the patterns of self-sabotage and finally start to heal the parts of yourself that are getting in the way of truly reaching your potential. From a powerful meditation designed to help you meet and embrace your shadow self, to the guide that's full of curated prompts and important questions to support you on this journey. This really can be the work for you to unmask the root cause of all the issues you've been experiencing, honestly, and start to feel free to believe in yourself and go for what you want. The link for this free bundle is in the show notes. And if you like this episode, I would be so grateful if you could take a moment and rate, click and follow, and leave a review. Of course, you can always follow me on socials at Michelle Poverman. And keep in mind, as you embark on your journey from spark to brilliance, remember, the universe is always conspiring in favor of your awakening. Everything that's happening is in support of you lighting your own fire within. So until we meet again, may your path be well lit and your heart be guided. Shine bright, seekers. Until next time.